sister moon. I seldom see you, seldom hear your tune. Preoccupied with selfish misery.
Greetings, Uncle Travelling Matt here, reporting live from the main piazza in Assisi in central Umbria, Italy. So, I'm here. I got to the Holy City and I'm going to tell you about what happened yesterday. It was a supposedly short and easy section, 13 and a half kilometres, going out of Valfabbrica and up through the countryside, along paths and lanes, into the Holy City itself. I woke up a little bit later. I was really tired. I mean, the day before had absolutely worn me out. It was, it really maxed me out, that one had. And I was so tired, I did not want to wake up. I did not want to walk, but, you think, well, it's an easy day. But of course, the easy days are never as easy as they say. There were two monumental climbs in it. The first one was actually better than I thought it would be. I mean, it looked like it was going on for about 2 kilometres or so, but the first 3 kilometres and a half was really gentle, and I did it more or less without stopping. But then the second bit, it got really steep, and then I had to stop. But I think, I'd done a climb the day before, probably similar, and it was, I'd stopped, I think, 11 or 12 times, and in this one I stopped 3 or 4. So, yes, I got fitter, and that was good. And what was nice, it was through a forest, so it wasn't too hot, it was shaded. And so, yes, there was a climb, but I knew it was coming, and it wasn't too bad. Then I was out on this lane, and there was more sun. It has been so hot on this pilgrimage, and it really saps the energy. I did lay down for a while in a driveway of a villa that looked pretty abandoned, and watch the aeroplanes fly overhead. All those chemtrails, if you're a conspiracy theorist, probably addling my mind, but who cares? And then carried on and plodded on. Did a couple of kilometres, had a rest, couple of kilometres, had a rest. It was, after that, there was a long, slow, gentle descent. Although there was one bit that the book didn't really warn you about very much, where we turned off a lane onto a gravel track. And then it was like down like that. And it said, oh, there's a descent, sometimes steep. No, it was all steep, and there was way too much gravel. And so it was horrible. I almost fell 3 times. And talking to other pilgrims later, apparently people were falling all over. I think they just put too much gravel on it, but it was utterly horrible. And of course, at the end, my ankle was on fire from that horrendous descent. It is the descent that does it. And so that bit was vile. But what was nice, at the bottom there was a picnic bench, and I sat there and did a little kind of incense ceremony on the picnic bench in the forest, which was something I've been planning to do for a while and not got around to. And I guess that brings a point about this pilgrimage. You'd think, right, what have you got to do all day? You wake up at the crack of dawn, and then all you're doing is walking. You must have all the time in the world, and yet I find I never have any time to do anything on pilgrimage. So I'm reading the works of Angelo Foligno, and I'm literally managing to do 10-20 pages a day, if that, because you're just bloody walking all the time, and then when you get there, you're so knackered. And then in the evening, you go out and you meet people, and you talk to them, and that's what it's about. So, my reading, my writing up of things, it all just falls by the wayside. And again, this little ceremony is something I've been wanting to do for a while. It was the first chance I got to do it. But it was good, yeah, and I did that, carried on. The ankle was really hurting, got all the way down to the bottom of the valley, and I mean, you can see Assisi ahead, and it is a marvellous vision to be approaching. It fits. Sometimes you approach these places and they're a bit disappointing. I mean, like Santiago, yes, you get the view from, I think, is it Montegozo, but it doesn't look that good. And then you're going through the streets and you don't actually come across the cathedral and the square until you're actually there. Jerusalem, we only saw the old city when we were about 100 meters away from it. But so, like Assisi, you see it on a hill above and you walk towards the Holy Hill. But of course the problem with cities on a hill is you've got to climb the bloody thing. And at the end there is this climb of 1 kilometre and a bit. And it's like that all the way. Now, of course I was warned about it. So, you prepare yourself. And I actually think I did really well because, as I say, it's 1 kilometre and you rise about 110 meters in the kilometre. And I only stopped twice on the whole thing. I got in a nice rhythm. It was on a road, so it was level. That was good. And I stopped twice. And one was about halfway up. And then I stopped probably about another, it was 3/4 up. And I only stopped at the second one because there was a fountain there and I wanted to just throw water all over myself. So I got into Assisi about 4 o'clock, a bit later than I wanted, again, just because I've been stopping with the foot all the time. And found my hotel, checked in there, lay down. I was utterly shattered. Before I found my hotel, I mean, my phone had almost run out of battery, and I don't have any money with me, so I need the phone to pay for stuff. So I went to a street food place and had some wonderful, local bread with, ham and cheese in it, and rejuvenated myself there. So that was great. And then I went down to the cathedral for the 6:30 mass. Got about 5 minutes late, but I was sitting in the mass. It was in the lower basilica. So St. Francis' Basilica, there's a lower one, like a bottom floor and a top floor. And I think the bottom floor, clearly was built first because it's underneath the top one. But it's a very, of the two I prefer it. It's covered in frescoes, and they're of quite a naive style, and they're of the life of St. Francis. And I like the naive style. Upstairs, it's Giotto has done it all, and I'm going there in a bit. But yeah, this mass, obviously it was in Italian, didn't understand anything. I was so tired. I didn't want to do the standing up and sitting down. I was so tired. I was kind of, do I really have to be here? But then suddenly, towards the end, after I'd taken the host, the music perhaps, or the host itself, I don't know, it's one of those minor miracles that happens. I just felt the presence of St. Francis. I felt that he'd been there walking with me. I felt his friendship. I felt his holy poverty, and I burst into tears, and I was just in tears. As the mass finished, people, I just sat there in tears, and then a lot of the people in the mass are actually the pilgrims I'd walked with. So we greeted each other. There was Katya, the German lady. There were the Canadians. I'm really bad with names, but there's 4 or 5 of them. And we all just hugged them. And then we went outside, and Norbert was there, and Max, the Singaporean guy. And it was just wonderful. It was wonderful. We all had a photo outside the Basilica, and then we went for a meal, and we had this fantastic meal. I mean, I'd already eaten, I wasn't that hungry. I just had a pizza. I had a Bianca pizza, which is a pizza without the tomato sauce. Really good, actually. I have to say, I've never liked pizza, right? I've never been a pizza person. But it is different in Italy, and it's because it's not, it's so thin. That's the point. The pizza should not be thick and fluffy, thick crust. I mean, it's a crime. And these thin pizzas, they're not too much. They're just, wonderful. So, oh my God, I'm raving about pizza. I don't even like it. But, yeah, I've had 2 amazing pizzas now. But it was just this wonderful evening of friendship, solidarity, and we'd all done it, and some people are ending their Camino here, obviously others are not. And that's that. I mean, I will talk more about what goes on, later, but it's a bit like last time at my first stage. I got to San Sepolcro, not San Sepolcro. I got to Santuario della Verna, and you may remember my video. I felt drunk with achievement and drunk with holy happiness and Santuario della Verna, and that was great. And you know, I felt it had all been building towards that, and there were certain revelations I had there. And then, like the next few days, they were almost like a bit of a hangover. Like, you know, yeah, I was doing them because they're in the itinerary, but I kind of achieved what I wanted to achieve. And that's the thing here. I've got to Assisi. I'm not really bothered about walking anymore. I've got to Assisi because I've got to walk some more. Because unless I want to do 2 extra trips, you know, I'll have to take a bloody long time to get to Rome, and we're only just over halfway along. So I will walk more, but today I've rearranged all my accommodations. I should be in Foligno tonight, but there's a strike on, so I can't take the train to Foligno, and I'm sure as hell not walking. So I'm having a day in Assisi, which I guess, look, if you walk there, you should do. I mean, I wasn't going to bother originally because I went a few years before with Thomas, and I can put the link to that video in when we had our days in Assisi when we're in the van. But that's nice because I don't feel I have to go anywhere. I don't feel I have to see anything, and I can actually just concentrate on with the pilgrimage. But also, you know, I've been reading Angela. I've been catching up with some writing. I've been writing out prayer requests. I've got about bloody 30 of them from people, and some of them people are holding now, or people I haven't heard from for years. They got in touch and can you ask for that? And that's so moving. That is so moving that people actually want that, and. In a very secular society, I don't know, it's nice that, I guess St. Francis touches people. He's touched me. So there we are. I'll tell you all about Assisi and today and that now, but all to say is that I am feeling very blessed. I've got to the Holy City, and it's beautiful, and I'm just recovering a bit. It's me, Uncle Travelling Matt, saying, keep travelling and stay on the path.
The sun and sister